Hey, this is Yazuki Wolf, and welcome back to BenkyouKai. In our last video, we went over Sa, Shi, Su, Se, and So. In this video, we're going to be moving along down our graph here to the Ta column. And here you'll see that we have Ta, Chi, Tsu, Te, To, and in the left-hand side is the Hiragana, the right-hand side is the Katakana, but we're going to be focusing on the Hiragana for now, so I'm going to go ahead and cover up the Katakana for the time being. Also, I think we might be running out of room, so I'm just going to take the Ta column by itself and isolate that over here in the corner so we can focus. Okay, so there we go. We have Ta, Chi, Tsu, Te, and To, and let's go ahead and just go over each of those. And once again, remember that this is the Ah sound, the E sound, the U sound, and the E S sound and the O sound. All right. So from the top we have Ta, and now the way that this is written a lot of times is it's going to have a stroke like this, and then it's coming around like this to get to the bottom stroke. So you'll often see where you'll almost see like a trail leading off from the top line to the bottom line, like so. Or you may see it where it's more linear, I guess, where it's very much like this. So just be aware that there are kind of different ways that might look, but in general, it's going to have this sort of consistency to it. I believe that it's supposed to be more like this. I think no, that's more like Tomodachi. Hold on a second. All right, so we have Ta, Chi. Once again, Chi, same thing. Sometimes it might kind of trail off around here, and you might like lose some of the connection in the upper corner, but just be aware that's a different stylistic way of drawing it. And also I want to go over that, so this is another exception to a rule where you're not just taking Ta, T, you're not just using the T sound and adding A or adding E, because T and A is Ta, so that's okay. But T and I would be T, and there is no T sound in Japanese. The T sound turns into Chi, very much like the S plus an I turns into Shi. So in this case as well, we have like the CH type of sound where we have Chi. Next, there's another exception. There is no Tu sound in Japanese. So a T and a U actually changes the T to almost a T, to like a TSU sound. So this is Tsu. And if you have trouble pronouncing this, just think of cats, right? And then try to say katsu, and then just get rid of the CA. Tsu. So like I heard people a lot of times like kind of having debates about like if you have the words like tsunami, right? And people be like, oh, how do you pronounce tsunami? Is it tunami or is it tsunami? Well, the truth is it's neither. It's not tsunami. Sorry, let me write this out. Tsunami is not pronounced as tsunami, and it's not pronounced as tunami. This is not telling you to choose T or an S. It's you have to actually pronounce both of them. So it's tsunami. And once again, just think of cats and then get rid of the CA. All right, so that was tsu. And then next we have te. And it's just going this way, then stroking down. Te. I don't have the cleanest writing, but it's passable. And then to. So you're stroking down from the top, stroke that, and then stroke that way. To. All right, and now another thing here is that once again we have the Tenten Transformations. So a T when it's voiced turns into a D. I mean, just try it yourself. You will see that T, D, your mouth is making the same shape for both, but the way that you're voicing it is changing, and that's what changes the actual sound. So that's why these are related. So when you add a 10-10, it becomes, so we have Ta at a 10-10, that's Da, and then Chi at a 10-10, and now that's G. Yeah, I don't think you really see that very often, but just, you know, yeah, that is a possibility. Tsu at a 10-10, and you get Zu. And now this one's a little bit weird because it's just imagine TSU, and now it turns into something like a DZU almost, Zu, or like a DSU. Zu. I mean, a simple way to think of it is it's basically just ZU. It basically sounds the same as ZU. So it's almost indistinguishable from this one. So this is there is a difference. It's just very, very slight. So this one on the left is a DZU or a DSU type of sound, or this one on the right is a ZU. So you have Z and ZU. Z, ZU. It's very similar, and you probably could get away with pronouncing them the same, but just so that you're aware. That's sort of how that goes. And next we have te. Add the ten, it becomes de. This is very common in almost on a lot of sentences, because sentences that end with is can be desu. So that's desu, desu. And you'll hear that the u is very soft. So if you want to pronounce it, it's like desu. But if you don't pronounce it, you probably won't tell a difference. So like here I am pronouncing it desu, and here I am not pronouncing it des. Des. And I'm not Japanese, so listen to a native speaker to get like a more accurate breakdown, but it is very, very small. You may hear, like, if you watch a video that's taken like old school Kyoto or something, where you have like the Maiko or like the geisha or whatnot, they might say like they might really enunciate the u sound like desu, but in general it's gonna be very soft. And then you have to with the ten becomes do, right? So that is the basics there. If you want to screenshot that and practice that a little bit yourself, go ahead and do so. And when you're ready, we're going to go into our vocabulary. All right, so here is our vocabulary for this week. Starting from the top, we have takai. Takai. And this can mean high or expensive. So if you're very tall, they might say sega takai, like your posture is tall, or like you basically, it just means you're tall, but they don't say anata wa takai, they'd say sega takai, right? And then if you're saying like a building is very tall, then you might say like sono biru wa mecha takai na, like it's a very, very tall building, or yamagata, like the mountain is tall, like anything like that, or high, right? But then you could also say it also means expensive, and this is probably you'll probably hear it more being referred to as expensive in just your daily life in like Tokyo or Japan, because you'll see prices for things and you'll be like, like that's a little expensive, I don't think I really want that, you know. And then next we have chikai, which means close. So chikai means close. You'll, like, if a person like stands a little too close to you, like, chikai, like you're a little too close, and that's kind of rude. Actually, you don't want to say it that way. But I'm trying to think of good examples, like maybe where do you live? Like, Shinjuku ni sunderu. Chikai ne. Like you're very close. Like you like say like, anata dona hen kara kita? Like, where did you come from today? Or like, kyo wa doko kara kita? Shinjuku kara kita. Like, I came from Shinjuku, and you'd be like, maybe you're just in like maybe you're in like Shibuya or something, like chikai ne, like that's very close. So you hear that quite often. Tsuku, this is another very, very common thing as you're like making plans in Japan. So it means arrive. So if you're like coming to meet someone and maybe you're running late and you have to send them a mail to tell them you're like 8 minutes late, you'll be like, ato 5 分 tsuku dato ato 5分 gurai tsuku, like I'll arrive in about 5 minutes. Itsugoro tsuku, like someone might ask you a question, when do you think you're going to arrive? Like itsugoro tsuku tomo, and that would be tsuku, like arrive. What time are you arriving at the designated place that we're meeting? Once again, that these are the root forms, the short forms. So this is definitely something you can use with friends, but if you're in a formal setting, you're going to have to go an extra step to make them polite. We'll go into that into the future. Okay, next we have kutsu. So kutsu, these are your shoes. Kutsu haita mama de hairanai de kudasai. Like, don't come into the room with your shoes on. That's the thing you have to know. If you walk into houses with your shoes on, you don't do that in Japan. You always take your shoes off at the door. Kutsu. And then we have ikitai, and you're going to see this kind of conjugation where you have a tai, that means that you want to do something. So if you remember a couple lessons ago, we talked about iku means to go, and you'll see the same kanji here, right? But when it changes, when it conjugates to mean want to go, it turns into ikitai, like I want to go. And we're definitely going to go into that more in the future as well. And then we have expectations. So kitai. Now this is not related to the tai from above here, where it means want. And you can tell that because if you look over here at the kanji side, with go, we have the kanji for go here, and then we have the rest is in hiragana, and that's telling us that this is a conjugation of the meaning of this kanji. Where in this side, it's just two kanji, so this is not being conjugated. So this tai does not mean want; it just means expectation, and that's stuff that's all going to click a little bit more once we actually get into the kanji side of things. But we'll get there when we get there. Next, we have tegami. So tegami. So tegami means a letter, right? Pretty straightforward. Next we have daiji. Daiji is important. Literally over here it's just like a big thing, an important thing is daiji. Keeping in mind again that we're getting those 10 tens here. So we got the T sound turns into a D, da, and then the shi sound, the sh sound from the shi gets the 10-10, which turns into the J, but it's kind of like a smooth J. So daiji janakute daiji, you know. All right, so next we have desu, and once again, this is super common in Japanese. Like you see that all the time. Like anything like it's the very basic grammar. Hold on. A wa B desu. So A is B. So anything you want to say A is B, you just use that grammar form. A wa B desu. And so let's say let's see if example. We had takai earlier, right? So you could say kutsu, like kono kutsu wa, so these shoes, this one. Kono kutsu wa takai desu. So these shoes are expensive. Kono kutsu wa takai desu. So that's very common. And don't worry, we're going to get into the grammar as soon as we just pound through all these writing systems. All right, so now we have next we have douzo. You'll hear this a lot in Japan, like please or go ahead. Dozo yoroshiku, like is like please treat me kindly from now on. Or you'll hear this a lot if you're just like you're in line and someone wants you to go ahead of them. They'll be like, oh, dozo, like sakini dozo, like you can go ahead of me. Or maybe if you're in a situation where like no one knows like who should act first, like someone would say dozo, and that's letting you know they're kind of like relinquishing themselves so that you can move. Like if you're on an elevator, you need to get off, or just you'll hear it all the time. Like it's very common. Next we have Suzuku, and you'll see this a lot if you watch anime or just Japanese TV shows in general. At the end of the show, you'll see in the lower right hand corner, it'll say like Suzuku. Maybe there'll be like some 10 like period marks there. And that just means to be continued, right? And so you'll see that very often. Next we have tatakai. Another thing, if you're reading manga, you'll see this a lot. Tatakai is to fight or to battle. Very common. A little hard to say. Tatakai. Yeah. But. And lastly, soto. And that means outside. So anyways, I think that is all for now. Hopefully that was useful to you. Until next time, live boldly and be creative. Yoroshiku.